In this review, we're going to be taking a look at the SH MONSTERARTS Godzilla vs. Kong from the 2021 film. These guys are absolutely beautiful and a perfect display piece for fans of the film and of the two characters. So without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at these monstrous collectibles. What's going on, Alfonso Nation? Alfonso here. Welcome back to another episode of Teletraan Reviews. Today we've got some special guests. Not Transformers, not Marvel, but something rather different, but no less awesome. But before we get started, I just want to give a big thank you to one of our channel partners, which is the Toy Room in Lafayette. Thank you so much for sponsoring this video and for supplying these figures for review. If you guys are unfamiliar with the Toy Room, I have been visiting them for a long time in my Teletraan Toy Hunt series and even back at Epic Toy Hunting. It's a really great place, and they even have a new location pending, which is exciting. So in my next toy hunt, they will have a whole new location that I'm going to show off. But if you want to get some information on them, I have it in the description box below. Once again, thank you Toy Room Lafayette for sponsoring this video. Guys, holy crap, we have Godzilla vs. Kong. Now, I've actually had these figures for a little bit, so I've gotten pretty familiar with them, and the good thing about it is that these guys are pretty simple, you know, compared to Transformers and Marvel Legends. These guys are pretty simple. I think they're a little bit more complex than Marvel Legends, but they're a little bit less complex than Transformers because they don't transform. But they are beautiful nonetheless. If you guys have seen the Godzilla vs. Kong movie, that was such a blast. I remember going back a few times to watch the film just because I just love watching these guys go at it. Now, I'm just gonna put this on the table before we get started. I have been Team Kong for a long periodically time. I know that he's weaker than Godzilla. I know Godzilla's technically cooler, much stronger, pretty much a big nuclear weapon, but I like King Kong a lot. I just love his teeth, his ferociousness, and I love how he doesn't give up and how more mobile he is. He can like move around and hop around and jump, and he's a big monkey. So I love both of these guys, and these are the figures from SH Figure Arts, also known as MONSTERARTS, and this is the beautiful packaging. This is one of the best packagings I have ever come across for any figures. The Godzilla vs. Kong, and I love how when you pair them together, they're essentially fighting each other. So when you collect both of them, you have kind of like the completed picture. It's really, really cool. So you have Godzilla on this one here, and you can kind of see the text is blue for the Godzilla portion, and you've got the Kong. Text is orangey yellow. Looks gorgeous. I just love this packaging. And you've got some logos at the bottom, Legendary Toho and all that other stuff, and Bandai. And yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it. You turn it over here, you get some text, and just kind of shows you more of it. And this is kind of a little bit more of a closer look at the figures. As you can see, you've got King Kong. He's in his action pose, and you've got Godzilla pose, pretty much looking extraordinary. Beautiful packagings, and you turn it on this side, and you actually have an image of the two characters, Kong and Godzilla, in a more relaxed state with text. And that's pretty much it. You know, you turn it up here, you've got some text. Turn it to the other side, you've got some labels and barcodes. But that pretty much does it for the packaging. It's not simple. It's actually really inviting and really fun, and that's what I like about it. But that's just the beginning. Let's get the monsters out here and check out the figures themselves. Let's do this. And man, oh man, oh, this is awesome. This is the SH MONSTERARTS Godzilla and Kong. And right off the bat, just from my basic unboxing experience when I first took them out, I really, really fell in love with how great they look and accurate they are. I'm gonna start off with King Kong. There you have him, looking gorgeous. Like, even the physical feeling of it, it's kind of like this hard plasticky rubber, but it's like a rubber material, but it's as durable as plastic. It just has that rubbery like texture, and it really does come out really well. And I like the detailing of the actual piece here. You get a lot of that fur detail. It really does come across as fur. You even got some engravings here for the abs. You've got some of the pecs, and this piece in the chest is a little It's a little harder. It's kind of like it actually might be some kind of plastic. It kind of still feels like that rubbery material, but it's a little thicker for the chest because, you know, he's got to beat his chest, so it's got to be tough enough to handle all those punches. But it really does look great. Turning him around to the back, there you have it. It looks really nice. You can even see an indentation for like the spinal area, and you see all the different engravings in the shoulders, the arms, the hands, and all together looks pretty sick. I am a big fan of the color and the detail. So he has that dark brown, kind of like an espresso brown paint finish that really gives that monkey look, that monkey vibe. And here's a look at the actual head sculpt. This is the relaxed face. We saw him more so kind of with this throughout the film in the more relaxed scenes. It's not my favorite. My favorite is actually the other one that he comes with, which I'm going to show. He does come with a wide range of accessories, most of which are hands. So you've got kind of the relaxed hands here, where he just kind of just has them, where he's just, you know, regular relaxed kind of posed hands, and they are really nicely looking. It does blend in with like the rest of the figure. And then you have these guys. These guys are kind of like the not really open-handed, but kind of like clenched fingers here. These four, I guess this is probably for the chest pounding, is what I would probably say. Or if he's like bending down and he's like on the ground, you can actually have him on the ground, kind of like, you know, touching the ground like that if he's kind of leaned over in the gorilla pose, or you can have him pounding his chest, whichever you prefer. But these also look great and they come across really nicely, so I'm a big fan of these guys. And then lastly, he has these this one here. Now this is a pair for this guy here. This is the open hand for the axe that he comes with, and then this is kind of like the closed fist. So the I just kind of have them a little like separate differently here. You know, you got the closed fist here and then you got the open one here. So this is just the remainder of the pairs for these guys. But that's pretty much it for the hands. And one of my favorite pieces is the beautiful roaring head. I love this. This is what I'm gonna mainly display him and only display him as. You gotta have that open mouth, ferocious roar. That's what I love about Kong so much. He looks like a beast. Look at the teeth in this thing and the beautiful painting. Even the tongue, like the tongue moves in there. I think the tongue moves, or maybe mine is defective. Or it might actually move. My tongue literally goes up and it actually comes down. If you use like the tip of your finger, you can put it down. But I love the painting on the actual mouth. I love the teeth. And last but certainly not least, probably my favorite piece in both of these sets, and that's the beautiful axe. Now this thing was the highlight of what made King Kong the Godzilla vs. Kong specific King Kong. This thing was forged in the depths of the center of the earth, so this was a real center focus of the film, and this thing is beautiful. It reminds me of Stormbreaker by the way that it has like the stem, and then it's got like these roots or tree pieces kind of wrapping around the actual axe portion. It really reminds me of kind of like a Stormbreaker of this film, and it did kind of have the powers of a Stormbreaker. It was a powerful weapon, but this is beautifully painted and sculpted. I love the sculpt there. I love the blue paint, and then the white paint that kind of just emerges from the center where the core of the power will emerge from. Really nice. And you just simply apply it to his hand just by using the skinny portion of the axe and pushing it right in. And oh my god. And for the articulation, this guy comes with a lot of articulation. Now, one of the main things with this that I will say is a drawback for both, really King Kong, not so much Godzilla, is how his ball joints detach extremely easily when trying to articulate it. There's just a lot of ball joints in this thing. So what I tend to do is I tend to try to like just push in and articulate instead of just moving it. Because if I were to just move it around like I want, you already see things kind of fall off, especially with this arm one. So I just try to like push in and move so that it stays in because the ball joints do disconnect a little too easy, which is the main thing that I don't like about it, because you have to keep like reapplying it when you're just trying to basically just repose them or like articulate them. But nevertheless, we'll go over some articulation. So the head does swivel all the way around. This is on a ball joint. This little neck piece does move up and down like that. This neck piece is really where you get the turning around of the neck, kind of like that. For the elbow does rotate all the way around. The arm does come up like this, and then it does come back down. It does straighten out, and you do have a little piece here that's kind of like a rubber piece, and it does clear sections away so you can get some better articulation done. It does tend to leave a really big gap in his torso area, so I try to compress it upwards and just try to keep it under his armpit as much as possible, so that way it keeps it looking all nice and snug together. And then you've got another piece of articulation here on this piece, but below the elbow, that rotates all the way around, and just kind of have to finesse it, and as you can see, it pops out every so often. The shoulder also has this kind of swivel rotation around here, gives you some nice clearance, and then you've got a nice elbow bend. I believe it's a double jointed elbow bend, so it does come all the way kind of like to this degree right here, and then you bring it back out. You've got full wrist rotation. It's just a ball joint. This pops out really easy. You literally just kind of pop it out. He's got a nice abdominal stretch back for that nice mid-air position, and then he's got a nice crunch of the ab right here, and that's also a big ball joint if you can't tell. It's just a big ball joint here, and you can actually rotate it because of that on the ball joint if you really wanted to accomplish that. And you've got some nice abdominal crunches here, and then this also kind of rotates as well. So you've got literally 3 points of articulation on just his chest alone. The feet and the legs is, oh my gosh, it comes apart almost all the time. It comes out like that. It does rotate near the, as you can see, comes right off. That's one of the least favorite things that I like about these guys. Really just King Kong. Godzilla kinda has that issue, but I have never had issues with his coming apart. King Kong is the only one that does that. I guess it's because he's smaller and thinner, so the ball joints are smaller and it doesn't really stay in as well. And as you can see, to kind of re-secure it, it takes a little bit of time. All right, and he's also got a knee bend, so it does bend at the knee. Hopefully the knee stays on, and then it does come straight, and it comes off right again. Just does not stay together. That's what we're dealing with. So you do have rotation here on this part of the leg. It's not necessarily the ankle. It's kind of like right above it, and then the actual ankle, you've got pivoting, and you've got some full rotation on this part, and then you've got another level right beneath that. So that's like 4 or 5 different pieces of articulation on the lower leg alone. So it's excellent for articulation. It's just the joints have to stay in. So that's just the main thing. You've also got you know what, I'm gonna just leave it off for right now because I'm not gonna fight with it. So for the foot is another ball joint, surprise, surprise, and it kind of rotates like this, back and forth, and then you've got this motion, kind of like a little toe bend, or his entire foot bend. And that's pretty much it for the articulation, but man, multiple points on this thing. Nevertheless, that is King Kong, and he still looks terrific. He still has an amazing display presence, especially for fans of the film, and he just needs to stand up and not do that. Turning to the beautiful Godzilla. Alright, this thing is gorgeous, and this is a absolutely terrific figure. Like, this is my first ever Godzilla figure. I have never owned a single Godzilla in my entire life. This is the first one, and I have got to say, this is the only one I ever need. Like, this is just beautiful. I love the matte kind of like dusty texture he has to him. And I love all of the intricate detailings all on his body. And even you got some paint here on the belly section. Got some kind of like a brown, like a not like a light brown, but kind of like a dark brown paint on the belly section. It comes all the way down to this area, and it comes all the way up to like the bottom of the neck. That is beautiful, gorgeous. The blue eyes painted in, and it just easily just flows all the way into the spikes. These spikes are my favorite part of this figure. That is just what brings it out, you know, like the energy and power surging through him as he's about to open his mouth and just unleash wrath on everything beneath him. This is beautiful. Big fan of this thing, and I'm not even like a die-hard Godzilla fan, but this is just beautiful to me. Like, I've seen the other ones that were at the toy room, I've seen the other ones available, and it's just, I don't know, it's just not as cool as this one, and as modern and kind of like upgraded looking. I don't like the old versions of Godzilla, the old ones. I like the new modern CGI versions of him. It looks really nice to me. That nice long tail with all the articulation and how the spikes just flow all the way down to the very tip of the tail. Now, obviously, I'm no Godzilla expert myself, but a lot of you guys in the comments and those watching would probably be able to know a little bit better than me. Is this technically a good Godzilla figure from what's out there compared to the competition, or does this need improvement? I know for me, since I'm just a moderate fan and I just enjoyed the movie and wanted a good representation, this is absolutely perfect for me. So you can really see the beautiful painting in the mouth. I'm just gonna do one of these. You can see the beautiful paintings in the mouth and that beautiful silver, kind of like a silverish blue, like a blue shiny finish. There you have it, that beautiful painting. You can see the connections in the side of the head there. Beautiful. Nice, menacing Godzilla look. He's kind of like, yo, what's up, dog? My name is Godzilla. You want to know why they call me Godzilla? Now, one thing I will say is kind of a downside about Godzilla, not really so much, but kind of, is the fact that he only has one additional set of hands, and that's the only accessories it comes with. There is no other accessory, so there's no like additional heads because the mouth already opens. There's no like anything because he doesn't really come with accessories. He doesn't use them in the film. He is the weapon himself, so you kind of don't get anything in the packaging. But it would be cool to have like some props. Maybe they could put like some buildings, some like prop buildings you can just sit next to him, maybe 2 skyscrapers, just something to add to the package. But all he does come with is these set of hands, and it's kind of like just a clawed version. I mean, these are a little bit more wide open, as you can see, a little bit more wide open, kind of like about to scratch something, whereas these guys are just a little bit more relaxed, so you can see the difference there. Godzilla's articulation actually is better to do because it doesn't always come apart. At least I haven't experienced that, so it's really awesome. Starting at the base here, obviously he does move all the way around and comes right off. I just broke him in half. I just gave him the jazz treatment. His ball joint is a little bit more sturdy, so it does come off, but only when you stress it like ridiculously. But you see it has a nice snap, but it does go all the way around. With this guy here, you've got some movement up here, and then you've got some movement in this section here as well. It's kind of stiff, but you got movement here on this section as well, and then you've got some full entire head rotation. The head is on a full ball joint as well. It does look left and right, up and down, much easier than King Kong, but it stays in, you know, it doesn't come out like King Kong. So, and then this guy rotates all around for like the shoulder, and then his arm does come a little bit out, not too much. It bends inwardly pretty well. You've got some rotation here at the top of the elbow, and then if you hold the top, you got some rotation at the bottom of the elbow, and then you've got some full arm hand articulation here It's on the ball joint as well. So you just kind of rotate it around. These big fat legs are also articulated. You can move them all the way around. And it does come out a tad, just a little bit. And then it does bend at the knee. You can straighten it out like that, and then you just kind of bend it. So we got some rotation here on this side, and then if you hold that, you got some rotation here at the bottom of the leg. This point, and you've got another kind of ankle rotation swivel, and it does go all the way around as well. Coming down to the tail, you literally have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 pieces of articulation on the tail. Like, what? So you get the full range of motion. You can do a curved pose. You can do like a curved upwards, kind of like semicircle kind of pose. You can bend it all the way down. You can, whatever. I mean, literally this thing is like insane. Or you can just kind of like, I like to do this one where he's like curving up and then it just curves up again, really taking advantage of all the different points of articulation. But yeah, just multiple points of articulation, multiple points. Just fondling Godzilla's tail. He didn't provide consent, but whatever. He's like not happy about it. He's like, why you touching me like that, homie? I don't go like that, homie. I don't run that way, homie. Yo, run in this crib, cuh. Oh my god, he's a crip because he's all blue. Anyway, I do find that he comes back heavy with the tail. He doesn't really hold the tail up well. If you have to kind of lean him forward, and then that even, you know, you got to kind of lean him all the way down kind of to get all the weight, because his head is really light and most of the weight is kind of on the back side. So, but to keep him standing, I tend to just like let the tail do the work, like let the tail kind of be his kickstand as he's standing up, and just kind of angle the feet to kind of mimic and represent him pretty well like that. And for a little bit of size comparisons to kind of show you guys how large they are in a typical display space, this is them with the core class War for Cybertron Optimus Prime. There you go. And then here you have him with the beautiful, astonishing, absolutely extraordinary Marvel Legends worthy Captain America, the Walmart exclusive. So that kind of gives you an idea of scale. It's a little shorter, both of them. He kind of hunches over, that's kind of his thing, and he is definitely shorter, so that gives you an idea of scale. And here they are with a Voyager class figure, which is the Studio Series Sentinel Prime. Actually, I'm going to move these guys a little bit, that way you get a better sense of scale. There you go. So there he is with the Sentinel Prime for Studio Series, Voyager class. And then last but not least, here they are with the MPM Ironhide, regular Hasbro MPM. So you can definitely see they're not massive figures. I've seen some in store that are way bigger than this, but they do have a really nice shelf presence, nice display presence, and I think that's where they really show off. So that's your sense of scale, that's your multiverse right there. You've got your Transformers with your Godzilla and your Captain America. Like, you got a full multiverse of madness happening right now. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's what they look like. There's their articulation. You can pose them. You can make them fight. You can spin one in the air if you want, and just kind of have them going at each other. I love these guys a lot, and yeah, probably one of the best figures for Godzilla vs. Kong that I've seen. They are pretty highly acclaimed. So once again, thank you to the Toy Room in Lafayette for partnering with this channel for this review, and big congratulations on the new location. Can't wait to see the end result. And yeah guys, hope you guys enjoyed this review. Thanks for watching. This is your Teletraan reviewer, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.